What is going on, guys? It is Ty the Jeep Guy, and today we're going to be installing a steering box stabilizer by Kevin's Off-Road.
The thrill of the wild. One vehicle captures that feeling with the strength and agility to master most any terrain. Nothing stands in its way. Jeep, like nothing you've ever driven.
There's a feeling you can get only in a Jeep.
So as many of you XJ guys know that when you get out and playing on the rocks, that sometimes the steering box likes to flex around a little bit, and it makes it difficult to power through all that, and sometimes it's just downright sketchy. I've always been afraid that I'm going to be tearing either my uniframe or blowing out a steering gear, which I've done quite a bit. I was looking online, and a lot of the designs that I've seen were either a single mounting point going from this side of the uniframe over to the steering box. While those were relatively affordable at like $70, $80, and sometimes $90, I wasn't a big fan of the design. I felt like there could be more to it. I finally found those where there was more to it, and they ran upwards of $300 to $400, and I wasn't looking to spend $300 to $400 on this upgrade. Kevin's Off-Road is one I didn't see a lot out on it, but it is a 2-point mounting system. It mounts on this side of the uniframe and the other side, and it bolts right onto where your sway bars are. While you do need one other part to make this work, it came in right under $100, especially using their discount code CAPTIVE12. If you use that, I believe you get 10% off, and it kept this upgrade under $100. So included in this kit is your steering box brace. You get some instructions with it, and of course, wouldn't be a Jeep part if you didn't get a decal. Now, something I do recommend picking up, and they recommend as well, is these guys here, the energy suspension polyurethane bushings for your sway bar. The biggest reason is, if you look, this piece here for the mounting is flat, whereas on a Cherokee it's almost a little hump, and I'll throw a picture up here. So installing this, you need it to sit flat so that this bracket can sit on top of it. Well, a lot of people just go through and modify the sway bar bushing bracket deals. I went ahead and spent the extra $22 on these guys. That way I don't have to modify them, and I needed new bushings anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on the install. It seems like it's a pretty straightforward install just using the existing hardware. For the install, you're going to need a 15mm socket, a 17mm socket, and a 17mm wrench. And I'm just using an extension. It just makes things a little bit easier for me. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so I do want to apologize right off the bat for the poor lighting. As you can see, the sway bar bushing and clamshell right here, and the other one on the other side of the uniframe there. I'm going to go ahead and start by zipping these off. And yeah, I'll go from there. Sorry, neighbors. Hoping to find the best lighting, so we're gonna go ahead and start by popping these clamshells off. So we just push there, and then there's gonna be a little seam, and you just undo it like that. Installing the new ones should be just as easy, except I'm just gonna put a little bit of lubricant on it. Alright. And these are still the wrong bushings, but oh well. We're gonna make it work. Oh man, look at that. Turns out I have the 1-inch bushings, but we're too far gone at this point, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep moving forward with this. Now that I've got my horribly fitting bushings on, I'm gonna go ahead and bolt them in by the very back bolt on both sides, and then mock up the steering box brace. So now that the sway bar is somewhat in place, what I'm going to do is mount this up and see where I need to be. So after fiddling with things pretty heavily, I finally got it up there. I had to go underneath the sway bar mount on both sides because it would not line up no matter how I did it on top. It would not line up at all. But I've got everything finger tight, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten everything up and make sure it sits into place right. Now I am using hand tools at this point because, well, it's getting late and I live in an apartment complex still. I don't want to be disrespectful to my neighbors. So now that the sway bar bushing bolts are tight, we're going to go through and tighten up this little lock collar here. It's a little brighter. I figured I'd take a second and show you how it's supposed to go properly. Sits on top of your sway bar bushing mount there. We got the new sway bar bushings. It runs all the way across to the other one. Sits on top. Sandwiches your steering box there. Once again, I really want to apologize for the lighting. Haven't really done an install video in my garage, I don't think. So hopefully the next one, I've learned what I need to do to make it a little bit better, and hopefully it only gets better moving forward. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Keep on Jeepin' on.